Good morning. Today we have next topic, that is torsion. So torsion we have only this part only. In other structural parts we are not going to use torsion. In structural design too we have torsion, but there we are not going to analyze. We are going to just provide the reinforcement as per the IS code. So torsion we have only in this part. Now in this, I will show you the books actually today. So which books you can prefer, because today we have question, that is on that question Onkar Patil asked, that is when we will say free surface, no stresses will be there. When we will talk about surface, so on surface we have only shear stress. Your normal stress is perpendicular to the surface. So when we will talk about free surface, so that goes to shear stress. So now we have these 6 books. Mainly if we will go Merriam, then that will be the best. Now we have torsion, that is of shafts. So we do not have torsion for our subjects. We have only for shaft. Now outcome we have, that is we are going to get torsional stresses, and torsional stresses we have in terms of shear. Now first we will differentiate what is bending moment and what is torsional moment, and then we will switch over to the bending moment. Now you can see, when I will say bending moment, then you can see my load is in the plane of the member. So we have plane, and in that plane of the member my load acts, and we have that deflection. And if I will talk about torsional moment, so my load is not in the plane of the member. So my load is perpendicular to the plane of the member. So we are going to consider a lever arm to that member, and on that lever arm my load is going to act, and then that we will going to say as torsion. So that load is not in the plane of the member, that load is perpendicular, that load is on the lever arm which is perpendicular to the member. Now when we will talk about bending moment, a rotation will be developed due to deflection of the member, and here twist will be developed when we will talk about torsional moment. Now you can see over here. So we have twist. Second figure you can see, whenever you are going to tighten any bolt, then you are going to get twist over there. And then this is most important. Now if you will see bending moment, then we have bending stress. And if I will say the formula, we have m by I is equal to sigma by y. Now my sigma is directly proportional to y, and my variation is linear. Now in torsional moment also, stress developed is shear stress. Now try to understand this. Stress developed is shear stress. Now if you see formula, T by J is equal to tau by R. Now at a section, my value of T and my value of J is constant, and my tau is again directly proportional to R. So we should not confuse with the shear stress. We have seen shear stresses, there we have parabola, but that shear stresses are developed due to shear. Now this shear stress developed due to torsional moment, and you have that as linear. At center my value is 0, and value is maximum at the outermost fiber. So shear stress diagram we have linear in this case. Now here we have comparison. You can see the shear stress due to shear, which is parabola, and formula we have tau is equal to VA y bar upon IB. Whereas shear stress due to torsional moment, we have formula as T by J is equal to tau by R, and my diagram is linear having values 0 at center or neutral axis. Where are my values are 0 at outermost fiber in case of shear stress due to shear. So you can see this diagram. Now we have this solid shaft and we have hollow shaft. In solid shaft, shear stress is 0 at center and maximum at the outermost fiber, whereas in hollow shaft, we do not have any material in inner part, and therefore my shear stress at distance which is equal to the inner radius is tau 1 something, and that at outermost fiber tau 2. And if you will see, the capacity in hollow shaft is more, because if you will calculate average stress in hollow shaft, that our average stress is greater than the average stress calculated for solid shaft. Now if we will go to the assumptions, so I will not go in detail, you can see this, that is homogeneous. Then we have section circular over its length. Torsion is constant along the length of the shaft, and then cross section of the shaft which are plane remains plane after twist, and then stresses are within elastic limit. So we have these assumptions which we are generally using in our curriculum. Now if we will go to derivation of this torsional formula, then we have a torsion and we have applied clockwise torque to it. And due to this clockwise torque, you can see your point A is shifted to point B. And now due to this, we have strain which is shear strain gamma that is developed. Now if I will write down gamma, so what I will get, gamma equal to AB by L. So we have AB, that is change in length or change in position, and upon L, which is length of the shaft, that will give me shear strain. If you remember, we have this shear there, that is in first part of unit 1, where we have seen that shear strain. Now if I will go for AB length and I will consider O as center and R we have radius, then if I will find AB, then we are going to get this AB equal to R into theta. So AB we have R into theta, and now if I will substitute this in the above equation, then I will get it as R theta by L. But we know what is shear strain or what is strain? Stress upon modulus of elasticity. As we have here shear strain, so we have shear stress upon modulus of rigidity or shear modulus. So we have, this is your first part of the derivation. If you rearrange the terms, then you will get tau max upon R equal to G theta upon L equal to tau upon R. What is tau? Tau, we have shear stress at some distance, or that is given at distance R, which is small r from center. And tau max, this is the maximum shear stress which is always at the outermost fiber, that is surface of the shaft. And now from this, if we will go to the second part of this torsional formula which relate with torsion, now you can consider, you will consider force F, because whenever we have stress, we have force. So we will consider at a distance r a elementary ring having area dA. Now we have at distance r dr be the thickness of this assumed area dA. So now if I will go for tau, I have g r theta upon L. Tau upon r is g theta upon L. We are arranged or we have simplified it because we have to go force equal to stress upon area. Now stress we know tau and area we have dA. Now if I will put a value of tau from above equation is gr theta upon L into dA. Now we are interested with torque. What is torque? Torque is force into perpendicular distance. Now force we have dF and perpendicular distance we have r. So if I will put a dF and r over there, then I will get dF into r will be torque, that is torque due to elementary ring having thickness dr and area dA. So dF into r equal to gr theta upon L into dA into r equal to g theta by L into dA into r square. So what will be dA into r square? So this is inertia. Now when we will talk about circular section, then we have this as polar moment of inertia and that is denoted by J. So we have T equal to g theta upon L into J. Now if you simplify it, then you will get T by J equal to g theta by L, and already we have first part which is equal to tau max upon R equal to tau. This is known as torsion formula. We have flexure formula where we have M by I. So there we have M bending moment, I moment of inertia. Here we have T by J. T is torsion, J is polar moment of inertia. So T by there we have sigma by Y. Here we have tau by R. There we have E by R. Here we have G theta by L. So we have this as torsion formula. Now if we will go to the problems related with this torsion, so we have two types of shafts, solid shaft and hollow shaft. Now again divide into two categories, determinate problems and indeterminate problems. Now if we will compare this with your unit number 1, then you will see both are parallel. Only here we have torsion and there we have axial force. Now we have what is polar moment of inertia? That is moment of inertia about ZZ axis. Now for circle we have Izz equal to Ixx plus Iyy. But Ixx we have pi by 64 d4. Iyy also we have pi by 64 d4. If we will put over there, then we are going to get this as pi by 30 d cube. That we will see. Now this polar moment of inertia for hollow sections. Now D we have outer diameter, small d inner, and from this I will get pi by 32. Why pi by 32? You can see first we have Ixx, second we have Iyy, and now we have this as both are same. So we will get 2 into pi by 64. So that goes to pi by 32. And for solid shaft, if you will go, then you have pi by 32 d to the power 4. Now if I will keep first formula that is in mind, and for solid I can put small d equal to 0. Now if we will switch over to the next part, that is torsional strength of solid and hollow sections. This is better you keep in mind, then it becomes easy in examination to solve the problems. Otherwise we have to go by basic T by J equal to tau by R, and then we have to solve it. Now you can see over here T is equal to tau max by R into J. Now substitute value of J, and that J we have actually pi by 32 d to the power 4. That should be pi by 32 d d to the power 4. Now if we will put value of r, then we have that value of r as d by 2, and that 2 goes up, and then we will get pi by 16 d cube into tau max. But if you will go to the hollow section, then in hollow section our d cannot be cancelled, and we have this value as pi by 16 d in bracket d to the 4 minus d to the 4, that d did not get cancelled. So we have these two formulas which are related with torsional strength of solid shaft and torsional strength of hollow shaft. Now this is important, that is torsional stiffness. What is stiffness? So torque required for unit angle of twist. Now stiffness we have definition in this fashion only. So if you have stiffness of spring, then force required for unit displacement. So whatever terms you have for unit displacement, axial stiffness, then we have force required for unit displacement, that is linear displacement. So we are in this fashion, and then how we will get it as T by J equal to G theta by L. This is my basic formula. Now torque required for unit twist. So T by theta now. So we are going to get that as T by theta equal to torsional stiffness equal to Gj by L. So we have simplified it. Now we have torsional flexibility is exactly reverse. So angle of twist produced by unit torque. Now in first torque required for unit twist, and here angle of twist by unit torque. Now in this we have reverse way, theta by t now, because angle of twist per unit torque. And now your torsional flexibility then becomes L by Gj. So if you will multiply torsional flexibility and torsional stiffness, then value is 1. Now anywhere you can go multiply stiffness with flexibility, then your values are always 1. So we have this torsional rigidity. Now which are rigidities we have? First we have axial rigidity, which is AE. Then we have flexural rigidity, which will be EI, and third we have torsional rigidity, which is GJ. So what is this? So AE, area into Young's modulus. Then we have EI, that is Young's modulus into moment of inertia, and then we have Gj, which is shear modulus into polar moment of inertia. So now this is the important part, which is power transmitted by shaft. Now we know power means work done. Sorry, power means work done per unit time. Now what is work done? Work done, we have force into displacement, that we know. Now force we know, that is acting at a distance r. We have considered a ring with dr thickness. So we have F into r, F into S, and what is S? R into theta, because S we have, that is along the force, and that we have S, and then we have F into R into theta. But what is F into R? So we have force into perpendicular distance is T, so we have T into theta. Now what is power? Work per unit duration time, that is you have power. Now power is product of average torque and corresponding angle turn per unit duration of time, because we have work done per unit time. So work done is T theta, and that per unit time. So we have power is equal to average torque into our angle of rotation per time, because T theta, if I will divide theta by T, then we have torque, and second part we have angle of rotation per time. And then if we will go to this, so we have theta upon T, that is known as angular velocity. So we have T into omega, that we are going to say as power. Now we can modify or we can put the values. We know angular velocity is 2 pi n, where n is revolutions per second. Then we can write it n in terms of minutes. Then we have 2 pi n upon 60, because we have to convert minutes into seconds, and we have 1 minute equal to 60 seconds. Or we have 2 pi f, where pi f is revolutions per second, that is as frequency. Because this sometimes if value is given frequency, then students are not in position to solve it. Frequency is nothing but your revolutions per second. And then we are going to get p equal to t average into 2 pi n, because we have omega is 2 pi n. But always keep in mind here, so we have n value in revolutions per second, or we have in revolutions per minute, or that is given as frequency. Now torque, whenever we will consider in this equation, that torque is always in newtons per newtons meter, not newton millimeter. Torque in the equation of power is newton meter, and we have this as newton meter per second, and that we are going to say as joules. So we have this power, that is joules per seconds, because we have newton meter as joule, and that is per second, then that is also known as watt. So power we are going to measure in watt, and work done that we are going to measure, that is in Newton meter. We are going to get this as theory part. Now you can see which type of problems we will come across this torsion. So we have analysis and design. Now analysis, we know if we will find the strength of the member, that we are going to say as analysis. And if we are going to determine the cross section, try to understand the difference. When you calculate the forces, that is analysis, and when you will calculate the cross section, then that is design. So design you have to determine cross section, analysis you have to determine the strength of the member. So analysis we have twice. First analysis which is given due to the load, and second analysis that is strength of the member. And your strength of the member, that always be greater than your forces coming on it. Now if we will go to the next part, this question generally asked in our examination, that is university examination. So we have comparison of weight, and here comparison we are with hollow shaft and solid shaft. Now solid shaft are always preferable, because your weight required that is less, because we have seen in solid shaft average stress is always greater than average stress of solid shaft, because for solid shaft my value of shear stress is 0 at center and maximum at outer side, but in hollow shaft your material nearby the center is not there, and therefore you are going to get hollow shaft as economical. Now how we will find weight comparison? Now we know what is weight. Weight we have, that is density of material into volume. Now volume we have for hollow shaft, pi by 4 d square minus d square. L is length, so I will get that as volume multiplied by gamma, which is density of the material. And same for solid, pi by 4 into d square into L into gamma, which is for solid shaft. And now if my material is the same and length is the same, then I can simplify this, and that will gives me value of weight of shaft, that is pi by 4 cancel, L cancel, gamma cancel, and we will get d square minus d square upon d square, where capital D is diameter, outer diameter of hollow shaft, small d is inner diameter of hollow shaft, and that diameter below, that is of solid shaft, and that will give us comparison of the weight. Or from this you can also find how much saving of the material you have made. Now here also we have two types of problems. This also we have seen when I will say that is axial members. So we have series means we are in connection with the others, that is series. And in series, if we will go, we have first problem which is of determinate, and second problem if we will see that we have of indeterminate. So we have, these are the shaft which are in series, and we have shafts which are in parallel, and these are shafts which are in parallel. So in this case, in second case, my length of the member are generally same because they are parallel one. Now if we will go to the shafts free at both ends, how we will find the total rotation one with respect to other? Simply find theta for AB, find theta for BC, add these two thetas, then you will get value of theta at C with respect to A. You can see over there theta at B with respect to A plus theta at C with respect to B, and if we will put TL upon Gj, and that will gives me value of rotation at C with respect to A. Now when we will talk about cantilever shaft, so these are also determinate shafts, and method if you will see, again you have same method that you have to find first part, that is steel, then you have to find aluminum, and then if you add this, then you will get total value of the rotation. Now you can see second diagram I have plotted, that is torsion diagram, TFD. So we have this diagram, and this TMD, that is torsional moment diagram. So torsional moment you can see. Now if you will calculate the value of fixed reaction, here we have fixed reaction as torque only. So we have these two torques are acting in anti-clockwise direction. So you have 3t at A which will be in clockwise direction. So we have 3t that is in first part, and second part you can see 3t we have over there. Out of these two are anti-clockwise, so cancels, and we will have only t over there. On left we have t clockwise, another we have t anti-clockwise, that is other end. So we can find these problems, that is of cantilever shaft also easily. Now if I will go to shafts at both ends fixed, that is again we have this as in series. Now here we have two unknowns, that we have TA is unknown, TB is unknown. Equation is only one, that is summation T equal to 0, and then we will put it second equation which is compatibility equation, and that compatibility equation we have theta CA equal to theta CB, and that will gives me another equation, and that equation and equation of equilibrium we can use it, and by using these two equations we are in position to find out value of t. So same procedure we have in first unit also. Now we will go to the second, which is parallel shafts, and here we have theta values are same, that is theta of first that is equal to theta of second, same whichever we have used over there. First is summation t0, and then we have next part, that is, so we have written here summation mz equal to 0, because torsion we have moment which is along z direction, which is perpendicular to the plane of the member, and perpendicular to the plane of the member we have z, because x y we have plane and z is perpendicular to it. So we have this part of the torsion, that is we can say theory part, which we have in this fashion. Now we have problems, 6-7 problems I have considered, 8-9 problems we have taken, and some problems we have from GATE, some we have from IES. Now problems are very simple. We have simple formula, T by J is equal to G theta by equal to tau by R. Now I will go little bit fast because things are very simple. So given data you can see outer diameter is given, then tau max is given, inner diameter is given, and you have to find maximum torque. So simply T by J is equal to tau by R. Now everything is given, unknown is only T. So you can use formula to calculate value of T. If you remember, we have this formula directly also you can use T equal to pi by 32 d to the power d4 minus d4, and that will gives you value of T, which is 23 kilonewton meter. So problems are easy when we will talk about torsion, but you should be in position to understand that, because that is most important. Now second problem you can see, what will be maximum and minimum shear stress. Now whenever we have this torque as hollow shaft, then we have two stresses. Minimum stress we have that is at inner radius, and maximum stress we have that is at outer radius. Now J we know we can find pi by 32 d4 minus d4, and then tau we can rearrange the term, gives me tau equal to tr upon J, and then you substitute the values. By substituting value you will get a equation which will be in terms of small r. Now we have at minimum we have to take value of d as 8, value of d as 16 and r as 8, and for outer value of d is 20 and r is 10. And then you substitute these values in the equations, and by substituting these values you will get value of tau, that is inside and outside. So first I have calculated tau max, which will be 10 into 10, and second we have calculated that is inner, and that inner is minimum value. So 10 into 8 equal to 80. Now we will go to the third problem, and that third problem we have that find power transmitted by a shaft. Now we know formula for P we have 2 pi and T, but keep in mind T is we have always T average over here. So now, and value of T should be always in Newton meters, not Newton millimeters. Now we have given 150 rpm, that is equal to 120 by 60, 2 revolutions per second, and tau is given we have 80 MPa. Now if we will put it in this equation, then we are going to get this value as 3.39 into 10 raised to 6 Newton millimeter. Convert into Newton meter, 3.39 into 10 raised to 3 Newton meters. Now actually here we have value of tau is given. You can see how much value of tau given, 80. So we have substituted this value and got value of T. Now for P we have to go for 2 pi and T, and then we will substitute these values, 2 pi and we have 2. So actually that is equal to 2.5 Hz. So that is also 2 Hz, not 2.5, and then that is substituted in P, and that will gives me 42.6 into 10 raised to 3 watt. So we can convert it to watt, which will be 42.6 kilowatt. Now if we will switch over to the next problem, and in this problem actually we have to find out cross section of hollow shaft, and the relation is given between internal and external radius or diameter, and that is given 0.6 times. Torque is given, and then we have given twist 2.5 degrees, and then also we have given shear stress 65 MPa. Means we have given two criterias, means we can find value of cross section by using T by J is equal to G theta by L, and I can find by T by J is equal to tau by R. So we have to find actually, when I will say T by J is equal to tau by R, then we have one criteria, and we are going to see this, you can see design by strength, that is using shear stress. Means when I will go T by J equal to tau by R, that will be strength criteria, And when I will go T by J is equal to G theta by L, then we have stiffness. Because we have seen stiffness, we have T by theta equals to Gj by L. So we are going to be values by both methods, that is by strength and by stiffness, and then by calculating both values, so whichever value maximum we are going to get, that will be my diameter. So whenever we will say strength, we have to take minimum, and whenever we have to go for cross section, we have to go maximum value. Then we have substituted T by J is equal to G theta by L. In last we have T by J is equal to tau by R, and then we have first value, if you will see, then we have this value as 54 millimeters, and second value, if you will see, we have this value 56. So we have to provide 57 millimeters. So I already told you, cross section you have to go on higher, and strength you have to go on lower. So we have these values. Now we will go to the next problem, which will be fifth problem. Now here we have given three criteria. Tau we have given for steel 80 MPa, for aluminum 55, and theta is also given less than or equal to 6 degrees, and determine the maximum permissible value of T. I already told you, when I will talk about torsional strength, we have to take minimum of the three. Now we have diagram in this fashion, this is given, and then we have to find the values. So now I will go step by step, you just see it. So first you can see we have value, we have 3t over here, 2t, then we have, that will be torsional moment diagram, and then if I will go one by one, that is three cases, then we have this first case, you can see. So we have the geometries values, that is J R, J by R, these values are calculated over here, and then we have switched over to the values of, we are going to be with three criteria. First, strength criteria, where we have two values, tau, and using this value of tau for steel, we are going to get value of T 654.4 into 10 raised to 3 Newton millimeter. This is for tau less than or equal to 80 for steel. Then tau less than or equal to 55 we have for second part, and then we have these values. Now you can see we are going to get second value, that is of T 691.35, and then I will go third criteria, maximum value of theta is given degree, so which is theta AB plus theta BC, and if you substitute the values of this, then I will get value of T from here 1135.98 into 10 raised to 3. Now already we have seen which value we will consider. So we have to consider value minimum of the three, because strength we have minimum and cross section we have maximum. So list of A, B, C, that will gives me, that is value of torsional strength 654.4 Newton millimeters. So we have these problems. Then we have next problem, that is for parallel shaft. Now when we will talk about parallel shaft, we are interested to determine shear stresses developed in copper and steel, and for that one I have to find out value T shared by steel and copper. Then again two unknowns, T for steel and T for copper. So two equations, one is summation mz0 and second is theta same. So by using these two equations, we are going to get these values of Tc and Ts. You can see their geometric properties. Then we have calculated R, then we have the value of J by R, then we have calculated values of, so we have next, that is for steel, we have calculated Js, and then from this we will get these values of J for steel and second for copper. And then we have equations, two equations to calculate values of Ts and Tc, that is copper. Now substituting these values, then we are going to get this as, first equation we have Tc plus Ts, and second equation we have theta s equal to theta c, and then by this we are going to get relation between ts and tc, and by this relation we are in position to determine the torsion carried by copper and torsion carried by steels. And once we know this, so here you can see we have this as second equation, tc equal to 0.3469 ts, and first equation we have tc plus ts, and solve these two equations, you are going to get value of tc and ts. And once I have these values, then I can find value very easily, that is shear stresses carried by copper and shear stress carried by steel. That you can see first for copper we have 28.7, that is simply simplifying the formula T by J is equal to tau by R, and in this way we will get values of shear stress. Now we are with the problems. Now I have taken three problems which are from IES. So first problem is for 4 marks, that is combination of axial and torsion. So delta L is given, and from this delta L equal to PL upon AE, we are going to get value of E, which is modulus of elasticity. Knowing value of E, we can find value of G. So G we can find, but mu we have to find. Then we have relation between E and G. But data is given related with torsion. So T by J is equal to G theta by L. And this will gives you value of G. Now I know value of E, I know value of G, and I know I know the relation between E and G, which is E equal to 2G in bracket 1 plus mu, and if I will substitute it, then I will get this value of mu, which will be equal to 0.263. So this was taken from 2019. Again we have one problem that is from 19, which is for 8 marks. Now in this we have to determine, now you can see maximum, if the maximum torque transmitted at each revolution exceeds by mean of 30%. So we are interested. So P equal, because what is given 75 kilowatt, P is given, and from this I will get value of T max. We have to find suitable diameter. So first we have formula P equal to 2 pi nt upon 60. T is mean or T average. Now we have to substitute the values which we know, and that will gives me value of T max. Now once I know T max, then we have T by J equal to tau by R. Now we will see we have T minimum mean which we got from P, but T max, that is 4.66, because you can see that is given in the example, if the maximum torque transmitted at each revolution exceeds the mean by 30%. So my maximum torque is 30% more than minimum torque, and therefore we have to find T max, and we will get T max 4.66 into 10 raised to 6, and substitute values in this equation. T by J is equal to tau by R, and this is your solid shaft. So you can directly go pi by 16 d cube into tau, and that will gives you value of D, which is equal to 69.73, that is 70 millimeters. So now we will go to the next problem, that is of IES 2018, which was asked for 20 marks. So you can see we have to find two hollow shaft, circular shafts of equal size running at 100 rpm and developing 50% additional power. The internal diameter of hollow shaft may taken as 1/3 of their external diameter. So now see what is given. So first we will go for solid shaft. Now solid shaft we have 2 pi nt upon 60. Now n is given, that is 200 for solid shaft. So we have substituted values. Now if we will rearrange the terms, then I will get it as Ts equal to 3 ps upon 20 pi. Why I am arranging in terms of Ts? Because we have given relation between Ts and T H, that is hollow shaft, that is given 50% additional power. So now if we will go to this, then I will get it as Ts upon Js. Now Ts I will substitute in terms of Ps. and then from this we will get a relation. So if you simplify this, then you will get a relation that is Ps upon tau s, and that is equal to 63.19 into 10 raised to 6. This relation we will get for solid shaft. Now same relation we will find for pH upon tau h. And then once I know these two relations, and we know relations between hollow shaft and solid shaft, that is for your power and for your shear stress. Now you can see over here, then we have that is second, we have that is hollow shaft, and for hollow shaft you can see we have this pH upon tau h, and we have these values that is equal to 2.056 into d4 minus d4 upon d. Relation is given pH equal to 1.5 ps, and tau h is given 1.3 tau s, and d is given that is small d inner diameter as capital D by 3. And now if you relate this, if you will substitute these values, that is 1.5 ps upon 1.3 tau s, we have substituted in pH upon tau h, and as we have modified this equation again, then modifying this equation I will get ps upon tau s. So we have first equation ps upon tau s 263.19 into 10 raised to 6, and second now we have this, compare right and left hand side is same, so right hand side should be same, and that will gives me value of d, and that value 530.78 and small d 176.93 millimeters. So problems are simple. Now last problem we have, that is for IS 2017, and that is for 20 marks. So now problem is very small, actually that is not in our curriculum. So we have, this will be tapered shaft, and tor your value of theta for tapered shaft, we have this formula 32 TL upon 3 GJ d1 square plus d1 d2 plus d2 square upon d1 cube d2 cube, and d1 we have 1.2 d2. D1 means we have that is larger diameter, and d2 we have smaller diameter. And if you put this value d1 that is 1.2 d2, then you will get equation in terms of d2. Now d average, that means we have d1 plus d2 upon 2 1.1 d2. They already mentioned their mean radius. Mean means we have average. And if I will put this d average value in the equation of theta t, that is for tapered, and this value we are going to put for average, because formula we are going to use for taper only, diameter we are going to consider as mean radius, and then if you will substitute you will get another equation, and you will go for these two equation, you will get percentage error, which will be theta t minus theta average divided by theta t, because theta t is always greater. Theta t, why theta t is always greater? Because we have that is actual, and theta average we have that is another, that is mean radius. And in this way we have this problem. This problem is also simple, but we have to remember this formula of tapered, and that is of average. So this is all about your torsion part, which we have in your